Now for the first class of the Azon Masterclass series, I'm going to be teaching you how to research Amazon products. Now there are a lot of different places that I could ultimately begin a training series on teaching people how to build Amazon websites. I could just simply dive into the actual site creation, but this isn't the way that I personally do it when I'm building my own sites. And I wouldn't really expect anybody else to just dive into a WordPress site and start building it without really having a clear idea of what they're going to be doing on that site. So when I'm building an Amazon site, the place that I begin is actually on Amazon.com itself. I do this so I can take a look at different products that are available, so I can ultimately figure out which type of product niche I'm going to be pursuing with the website that I am going to build. Now, in later classes, we will go even further than this in my strategy, and we'll learn how to do keyword research, site planning, and ultimately getting to the building of the site after a few classes. But the whole point of these first few classes before we actually begin to build the site is to again have a clear idea of what you are actually going to put on the website that you're going to build. So you'll know ahead of time every single page that you're going to build on that website, all the products that you're going to promote on that website, and how everything kind of fits together. This ensures that your site is helpful to people. It ensures that there are meaningful connections throughout your website. These things will make a difference to the people that are visiting your site, and they will also make a difference to search engines such as Google. Now, to start everything off with, I want to talk to you first about getting paid by referring sales with Amazon. You can find the link for this page in the guidebook that I have provided for you for today's class. And this is important because this is what is going to determine how much you make whenever you refer a sale to Amazon. Now, Amazon is free to change these rules at any point in time. In the last year or so, they drastically changed how all of this works. Amazon used to work on a sliding volume scale to where the people that are referring only a handful of sales make a lower percentage amount, and then as you refer more sales every month, they would pay you a higher commission. The new change really helps new affiliates above anybody else because you no longer have to be referring tens of thousands of sales every month to potentially get the highest commission rates. Whether you are a huge website with a ton of traffic or somebody that's just getting started, you can now both promote the same products and earn the same amount of money from those sales. Now, what is going to actually determine how much you get is based on the actual product that you're promoting. Each product can be grouped into a category, and these are the different categories that are listed on this page. And basically, if you can't find a category listed on this page, then this bottom row here applies. All other categories will pay 4%. So if it's listed, you will be getting paid the specified percentage here. Otherwise, you're going to get 4% for sales. So this means that if you want to try to go after one of these higher commission tiers, 7, 8, or even 10%, then you simply have to stick to the products that are listed in these various categories. Besides actually knowing what you'll get paid from referring sales on certain products, the other reason I needed to point this particular list out to you is because this is kind of part of the initial strategy to selecting an Amazon product now. Depending on what kind of product you're going to promote, depending on what your entire website will be about, will affect which one of these commission rates you end up receiving for that site. Now, instinctually, people will gravitate towards the higher end of this scale. So anything in these categories, maybe even in these categories here, you will find over time that the majority of affiliates will try to focus on these categories that offer these higher commission rates. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's good for you to keep in mind that the percentage amount that they are offering to pay, it's not everything. Some of the really low percentage categories, toys, computers, TVs, some of these are among the best-selling products on all of Amazon. People readily search out information on these products and try to do a little bit of shopping around to get the best price online. So trying to promote some of these products in the lower percentage amounts can sometimes end up being a good thing. If you refer a lot more sales on products in these categories as you do products in these categories, then the commission rate is not going to make as big of a difference anymore. Another thing that you have to consider is how much the product is actually being sold for. A lot of TVs and computer components can be on the pricey side. And so this 2 to 2.5% commission may actually be a lot more in terms of money in your pocket than a sale on something in one of these higher areas. For example, pantry. You're going to have a lot of food items and home goods in this particular category, and most of these are going to be pretty low priced. So this 8% commission, it can be appealing because it's 8% compared to 2%, but if the product is only, say, $10, you're only going to see an 80-cent commission. Whereas on a $500 television, this 2%, I believe, also takes you out to something like $10. So $10 compared to an 80-cent commission is quite drastic, even though you'd be getting the much lower percentage on the TV product than you would on the pantry product. So most Amazon affiliates will end up building more than one website. You build a variety of different websites. You try to target a variety of different products and niches and even categories now of these products. And so over time, you build a little bit of a portfolio of these different types of websites. So if one particular type of product, maybe Amazon decides to change its commission rate, maybe the product does poorly in the marketplace and it begins to become less popular over time, your entire Amazon business is not solely dependent upon just one website continuing to succeed. So, with that said, I'd really recommend trying out a variety of different categories from this list. Try out some lower percentage stuff, try out some higher percentage stuff. See how they perform for you. Now, I also mentioned that my personal research for a website, before I ever begin to build it, it starts on Amazon here, because you can really build a website about pretty much anything, but you need to have a website that is about something that's going to lead to the sale of a particular product or a small selection of products from the Amazon website. So, in that regard, I find it a lot easier to work backwards in this case. I start with the product, I expand outward from there, figuring out some other relational products that I could promote with it on the same website. Then I try to figure out what content I can build on my website that is going to essentially help to lead people into the purchase of one of these products that I'm promoting. Then I actually begin to build the website. Once I have worked my way backwards through this process. So this helps me to figure out what is going to go on my website. It helps to make sure that the whole website is connected, that all of my content is meaningful and will help direct people in the right place that I need them to be. Otherwise, if you just build a website about a particular topic, something maybe even that you're passionate about, you could have a really great website, but unless that website is about something that's going to connect to these products that are for sale, you're going to have a really difficult time figuring out what to promote and finding things that you can promote that will actually sell fairly readily to your website audience. So, to start with, I want to talk to you about a number of different strategies or ways that you can go through the Amazon website to basically discover some products. I'll also be teaching you about what it is that you're really looking for in this process. And so the ultimate goal by the end of today's class is to have a listing of potential niches and maybe even specific products that go along with those niches that you may possibly want to build a website centered around. You can take this list into the later lessons, do some additional research on them to verify whether or not they would be a good idea to build an entire website centered around. So, one of the easiest and simplest ways of looking for products on the Amazon website is to just simply browse through it like you would any regular customer. You can explore things that are listed here on the Amazon homepage. You can go into specific departments even. And this is especially useful now that Amazon has changed their commissions to where they're paying based on product categories. If you're looking to try out something from a specific commission amount category, then you can more easily find that type of stuff through this listing. It may also boil down to what is of interest to you, because it's not impossible to build a website about something that you have no knowledge about. You can always research anything and learn about it and then build a website centered around it. But it can also be pretty tempting to go for the things that you do know. Maybe you have a hobby that you're interested in and you have a lot of knowledge about that particular hobby. You would obviously be inclined to try to build a website centered around it because it would be of interest to you. It would be a lot easier to build. You wouldn't have to learn new information. You might even be able to recommend products based on your own personal experience. But if you continue to build multiple Amazon websites over time, you will likely reach a point where you have no choice but to pick something that you really have no knowledge about. That is completely okay. Again, you just will have to put in a little extra work to actually learn about the niche, to learn about the different products, so you can actually make recommendations to people and not just do it blindly. So, with that said, if I just pick on any given one of these categories, it can be a main category like one of these here. It can be any one of these subcategories that is listed under each of those menus. This will get you to a listing that simply shows you the main page. It shows you some subcategories that might be found within this main category that you have clicked on. And you can even scroll down further to find different videos and advertisements. Sometimes they'll even show you product listings directly on this page. So ultimately, if you don't really know what you want to try to target, if you don't really know what you want to try to build a site centered around, the easiest thing to do is to just start diving into a department. But the key here is to try to drill down into the department as much as you possibly can while still finding uh, meaningful results, basically. So instead of just looking in the patio, lawn, and garden category, I could go into something a lot more specific. I could look into hot tubs. I could look into outdoor cooking, outdoor lighting. Within any of these categories, you can see that there's actually even more subcategories available to me. The whole point of this is to narrow down your results. There are obviously a lot of products on Amazon. If I just look in, say, the outdoor lighting category, there could feasibly be a ton of products in this category all by itself. You can see in this category alone, in just the outdoor lighting category, there are over 91,000 products. So you can't really browse through 91,000 products on your own. So you're looking to narrow down your results to find a much smaller listing that you can work with. This will also help you to discover products that are not as popular on Amazon, and this also kind of translates into popularity among other affiliates. If you look at any of the featured products on Amazon, any of their own products, especially the Kindle Fire, the Echo, or something along those lines, you could possibly build a website centered around those products. But the problem that you'll run into is that pretty much every affiliate knows about those products too. And so there's going to be a lot of affiliates targeting it. There's going to be a lot of competition, especially in the search engine rankings. So you are ultimately looking for a product that is popular enough with real life customers, but not so popular that every affiliate knows about it or can readily find it. And you accomplish that by digging deeper into these categories. So instead of just outdoor lighting, I could look specifically into floodlights. So within floodlights, if I go down and look, I still have almost 15,000 results, but this is a much smaller listing amount compared with what I was dealing with before. So this is at least the first step of the battle. I have narrowed down the number of results that are being shown to me quite significantly. Sometimes you'll even see more subcategories listed for you over in the left here. But from this point, I can start to refine those almost 15,000 results that I had a little bit more to narrow down that list to an even smaller number, something that is more manageable or meaningful for me to try to look through. So there's a number of different ways that you can do that. And this left-hand sidebar offers a vast majority of them, at least. A couple of my favorites that I like to do has to do with specific materials, possibly, or certain styles. Instead of just building a site all about floodlights, maybe I'm looking to build a website about a very specific type of floodlight. Maybe I'm interested in waterproof or motion sensor. Maybe I want to target a specific type of light, LED or halogen. Beyond those options, the other two that I really like are the average customer reviews. I can just look at the products that are rated well among the people that actually buy them. So I could look at the 3-star and up or the 4-star and up products only. I can also look at new arrivals, things that have shown up in this category in the last 30 days, the last 90 days. I can even look at products that have not yet been released by clicking on coming soon. The reason why I still want to drill down these results even more is for the purpose that I was talking about before, which is competition. You want as little competition as possible while still having enough popularity among buyers and among people that perform searches to where you'll be able to get a decent amount of traffic and be able to convert some of that traffic into sales. This also allows you to avoid a lot of the marketing work that usually has to go into a website. If you are focusing on finding a popular but not too popular type of a product, something that does not have a lot of affiliate competition, you can focus more on your actual website and less on all the other marketing stuff. This also helps to ensure that you will get your site noticed a lot sooner. In a high competition market, you might have to continue to build and maintain and market for a site for a year, 2 years, sometimes even more, to really break through all that competition and start to get a decent amount of traffic. When you're targeting a low competition product or a low competition niche, then you don't have to wait as long. You don't have to work your way up in the rankings. If you build a good website about a subject that ultimately not many other people have covered on other websites, then your chances of being up in the top of search rankings in a much shorter period of time becomes a lot more realistic. Now, typically, the products that are listed under the 3 and the 4 star review rankings and higher, many of these will end up having quite a bit of competition in them. But if you know what to look for in these listings, then you can immediately avoid a lot of the competition outright. What I'm talking about is, let's say I've sorted a list based on 4 star and up customer reviews. I might see a listing similar to this where I have a variety of different products that are all 4 star and above. From taking a quick glance at these products, though, if I look at the number of reviews that are on them, this one only has 9 and this one has 855. I immediately know that this one is much more popular than this particular product, at least in terms of overall sales. Sometimes this could be simply because one product is newer than the other, or one product has had more name recognition or some kind of additional advertising. But a lot of times, when you see a product that has a ton of really positive reviews like this one, it's also a pretty good indication that there will be a lot of other affiliates that are already actively targeting that product. And that means they're already actively targeting a variety of keyword phrases that are associated with that product. So, seeing something like this right off the bat gives some implied high competition, whereas this one seems like it should have much less competition centered around it. Now, it's not a guarantee that it will always work out that way. You can have products with a low number of reviews that do end up having a lot of competition for them. But this is how you take hundreds or thousands of listings that you're going to be looking at and narrow them down into a smaller amount, something that is more manageable for you to actually then pick through by hand and try to figure out which might be the best to pursue. Now, another thing that you can do is use this sort by box. You can sort by average customer review and just see the ones that are ranked 5 stars to begin with. And then as you keep navigating through the list, you'll get to the lower and lower star rankings. If you're looking for a product that is a certain price, you might even want to sort them by price. So any of these different options in the left sidebar or in this drop down box will help you to drastically reduce the number of results that you will have to deal with. Now I am looking at the products that are coming soon in this particular category. Some of these may actually already be available for sale. It kind of looks like these 2 products might already be available for sale. But ultimately, the products that are listed here, and even the products that are listed in the last 30 or the last 90-day links that was right next to the coming soon link that I clicked on, any of these products are ones that have fairly recently been added to the Amazon website. Now, this could be happening for a number of different reasons. It might be a product that has simply never been listed on Amazon before, and a new vendor has come along that's selling this product, and so they create a listing for it. It could also be a product that already exists on the Amazon website, and a new vendor just decides to create their own new listing instead of piggybacking on the existing listing. But outside of those scenarios, the other products that are going to be found here are not only brand new to the Amazon marketplace, but they might also be brand new or fairly recently new to the entire public marketplace as well. This should be ringing bells for you because something that has just been added to the marketplace will likely have much less competition when it comes to the affiliates. Simply because after a product has been on the Amazon site, say for a year or 2 years, they have been seen by a lot of other affiliates. And so it's a lot more likely that that couple-year-old product is going to be actively targeted by a lot more affiliates than a product that has just recently been added to the Amazon website. So that can be one really useful purpose of the coming soon and the new arrival types of searches that you can perform on any of these Amazon categories. So once I am in one of these categories and I've drastically reduced the number of results that I have to look at, you can see after looking at the coming soon products, there's only 17 products that are actually listed here. This is a very manageable amount that I can quickly scroll through and try to pick out if there are any decent products available. Now, because these are coming soon products, I'm not going to have review ratings to go off of. But if something here jumps out at me and looks like it could be a good idea, I could perform other research. I could see if there are other products like this already on Amazon that are not new arrivals, basically. Because you're not really just looking for a newly released product. You're looking for a new type of product, basically. Those are going to give you the best possible results in terms of building an entire site centered around them and promoting products from them, especially when it comes to encountering as little competition from other affiliates as possible. What I mean by that is this first particular product. It is a LED security light, and unless there is a specific feature perhaps about this security light that makes it different from all the other security lights that have been available on the market for years, then I would have a difficult time finding search engine keywords that I could try to target that are going to have low competition. So even though the product may be a new arrival on Amazon, it doesn't mean that the type of product is a new arrival on Amazon. And so this could end up having a ton of competition out there for it already, simply because a lot of other similar types of products already exist on the marketplace. So that's one of the biggest things that I am looking for as I am browsing through these results is I'm asking myself, is this a new type of product? Is this something where I could build a website centered around it and not many other, or maybe even nobody else has ever built a site centered around just this one particular topic? So with that in mind, if I am looking at this list and I'm trying to pick something out that seems like it could potentially be a new type of product. That is when I want to take a closer look, when I want to at least jot down the name of the product or jot down the type of product that it is, so I could do a little bit of additional research. So, for example, most of the stuff here, they all appear to be some type of floodlight. So, it's not like floodlights are going to be completely new to the marketplace. So, my only options is to try to find a certain type of floodlight that might be new to the marketplace. Are these new to the marketplace because they are LED lights? Are they new to the marketplace because they're a waterproof floodlight or maybe a waterproof LED light? Is this one new to the marketplace because it has a 180-degree rotation? So I'm looking at specifics for these products, easily identifiable specifics for these products. And this helps me to narrow in on a very, very specific niche. Not just floodlights, but maybe rotating floodlights, maybe waterproof floodlights. This ensures, or at least helps to ensure, that there will be even less people that are actually targeting the niche that I decide to pursue. So just as an example here, I will add this to my list. So I'm just going to make note of two of them for right now, rotating and waterproof floodlights. And in later parts of this training series, I can refer back to this list that I am making and perform more research on it to try to figure out if it could potentially be a good type of product to promote, if it could be a good niche to actually build an entire website centered around it. So that is my ultimate goal for this particular class, is to continue through a number of different ways that I can browse the Amazon website, that I can explore different products, and I'm really just looking to make a list of the different types of products that I have come across that seem like they may possibly be a potential to build an entire website centered around. I still need to verify whether those will be good ideas or not. And that's something that I will do again in later lessons as I dive deeper into the research, try to figure out whether there's a lot of search engine competition having to do with a particular niche topic that I have picked out. For a large percentage of the niches that you select, though, it could be 90% or more of these selections that you make, you will find that they actually do have a lot of competition. And so you need to do more than just pick out one individual niche at a time. It's a lot easier to try to find a decent sized list and then explore that list to narrow them down into good and bad possibilities. Then you can cherry pick the best looking ones and build your site based off of that product, based off of that entire niche selection. So, in addition to just looking at a product, looking at the title of it to try to figure out what kind of product it might be to try to figure out whether or not that product would be a good idea to try to target. You can also dive into the individual product pages where you click on a product like I have done here, and it gets you to the page where people would normally go and purchase this product off of Amazon. It can be good to explore these pages because they contain a lot of hidden information that could be useful to you as an affiliate. If you're not quite sure what the product is, what it does, what it might be used for, and you want to figure out whether this is something that you could actually write about, whether it's something that you could recommend to people for specific situations, it can be helpful just to simply read the descriptions on these products. There's also a number of other things just in this one area that can help you to determine what products are actually being sold and whether or not it could be a good idea to try to target them. For example, I obviously have the price of the product here, but you always want to consider not just the price, but what is it going to cost somebody to get this to their door? Because that's ultimately the price for them. So if a product has free shipping, if it's available for free shipping through Amazon Prime, obviously those are going to be some of the better choices. People will more readily order products that they do not have to pay shipping for. You may also have multiple products that are all listed under one single product listing. Right here, I have two different options, and you can see when I toggle back and forth, the difference is the color. There's a black and there's a silver. These are actually priced exactly the same, but there are a lot of Amazon products that have many different options, and some of these options can be a wide variety of different price points, ranging from a couple of dollars for one of them upwards of potentially hundreds of dollars for other options. So sometimes you may want to single out one individual option that is available for a product, or you might want to promote the entire thing altogether. It's also helpful to flip through the different options and look down in the bottom here where it mentions how many of them are available as new. You can see this one says new one. When I click on the other one, it tells me also the same thing, new one. This is indicating the stock level that is available on this product, at least through this particular vendor and at this price point. You can also look up here and see that the product is indeed in stock. This is important because you can get a ton of traffic for a product and send it to the Amazon product page, but if there's not actually one available for you to sell, then you can't really earn anything off of it. But with this particular product, if I could direct a lot of traffic to this page, it could end up being a negative situation like that, where once I sell one of these and one of the other colors, then I might not be able to refer sales on it anymore until the vendor restocks that particular product. So you don't always have to avoid the products that are low stock or completely out of stock products, but you do want to make sure that you're not too heavily dependent upon those products. You want to make sure there's going to be other products perhaps that are the same type of product as this that would have higher stock levels, so you could actually refer more sales in a shorter period of time and not run into a situation where they're out of stock and you simply can't refer any sales no matter how much traffic you send to a page. Now, beyond the main product information that is available, you can also take advantage of other places on this particular page, and this will be there on pretty much any given product that is on the Amazon website. These couple of sections where it's basically related products or products that other people have viewed after viewing the product that you're looking at now. So these can be used to find other similar products. Maybe the product you're looking at isn't the best idea to promote. For example, this one may not be a good idea to promote because of the low stock that's available. But people that viewed this item were also viewing these other products too, so maybe one of these would end up being a better choice for me, perhaps. This product seems to have better available stock. It's still being offered in the same colors. And this one actually has an additional color that's even being offered for it. You can also find accessories for the product you're looking at. You can find sometimes at least, what people ultimately choose. If they're looking at the product page that you're looking at now, what ultimately do they end up buying after viewing this item? You can see if it's this product itself that they're buying or whether they end up buying one of the other products on the Amazon website. Sometimes you might be better off trying to target one of these other products or promote them side by side and talk about how they are different from each other, which one might be better for certain situations. You sometimes get other useful things like comparison charts, other vendor provided information, like this one here is comparing a bunch of different features on a variety of different lights, all from their particular brand. Sometimes you will see this type of stuff that covers multiple brands worth of products too. You get technical details on these products. Well, one of the most useful areas of the product page that I like to take advantage of is found down at the bottom on products that have reviews. You will have the customer review section. And this won't always be there for all products, but when you can find it, I highly recommend taking a look at it. That is the customer question and answer section. The things that people want to know about a product before they decide to buy it, that can be really great information for you to have on your own website. Now, you don't want to copy and paste any of this stuff to your own website, but this can give you an idea of what you can potentially write about on your website. If you're reviewing a product or if you're talking about using a product in different situations, a lot of these questions can give you some of the key facts or key information that you can base some of your content on. So you learn about stuff through here. Then you might perform additional research to gain even more knowledge about that subject. And then you can write about those subjects on your own website to help refer sales on this product. The same type of thing can be used or can be done from the different customer reviews that are left on a product. They will talk about using the product in a variety of different situations. They'll talk about the good things about the product. They'll talk about the bad things about the product. And so, again, you can absorb this information and reuse this by putting it in your own words on your own website to be able to provide useful, high quality content about that product. People appreciate it when your website doesn't come across as a blatant sales page. If all you do is talk about how great and amazing a particular product is, and you have nothing negative to say about it whatsoever, some people start to wonder about that. And they wonder, what are you not saying about it? Or they automatically assume that, you know, that writing only exists to try to sell that product. But when you tell people both the good and the bad things about a product, they are a lot more trustworthy of the things that you have to say because they know that you're not going to sugarcoat it just to try to land a sale. What I like to do, though, if I'm talking about negatives having to do with a product, is don't just talk about how horrible it is. Ultimately, if it's that horrible, you probably shouldn't promote it. But try to figure out why a product hasn't been received very well from maybe not all customers, but just some customers. Is it poor craftsmanship in a certain area that's causing it to break when it's being used in certain situations? Are there certain things that the product does really great and other things that it doesn't do quite so great at? Are there certain situations where you could be using the product and it wouldn't perform as expected, but then it might be great for other things? When you can focus on that type of stuff, you're providing people with much more useful information. Information that they can actually use in real life. Because when they're looking into buying a product, they might have an idea already in mind of what they want to be using that product for. And so if you can talk about those particular situations that they might have in mind, you're a lot more likely to make a connection with them. You're a lot more likely to gain their trust and for them to feel like you're genuinely giving them the best information that you can about a product and you're trying to help them make the best decision for them. So, looking at some of the worst reviews for this particular product, I can see that one of the most common problems is just that they simply stop working. Some people talk about them failing within a fairly short time period, burned out after 3 months. Other people talk about having a number of them. I bought 8 of these, and 3 of them are now not working. And they posted this review, looks like less than a year after they bought them. So, is it truly a case of these lights just burn out very frequently? Are people doing something wrong? Maybe they're breaking the bulb or blowing out the bulb on the light and not really realizing that that's what the issue is. Is there something else that can be offered along with this negative information that would help people to overcome that fear of, oh, I hope I don't buy this light and it dies on me a couple months later? One person mentions a 12-month warranty. I could go back on the product page, read through all the information that's available about it from the vendor or the manufacturer, read the key highlights of the product, and I can figure out whether or not that's true. I can actually see here that they do offer a 12-month warranty. So you could mention that not all of them, but some of them tend to burn out a little on the fast side. But then you can also mention that if you happen to, get unlucky enough to get one of those that doesn't last a long time, they have a 12-month warranty, and they'll basically just replace this product for you for free. So you can kind of counteract the negatives with a positive in a lot of those cases. Now, in addition to browsing through all the different categories and just randomly looking at products or trying to narrow down the results that are presented to you, there are a number of other areas on the Amazon website that can be useful to help you to discover some of these new products. One of them is the Today's Deals area. This also is known as the Gold Box deals. From even the Amazon homepage, all you have to do is look for the Today's Deals link, and that will take you to the page that you see here on my screen. From this page, there's a number of different things that you can do. They have these deals of the day. During certain times of the year, they will have these lightning deals where there's only a limited number available at this sale price, and they're usually even time limited as well. Now, unless you have some kind of social networking fan base that you build up from an Amazon website to where you can reach out and contact all of your fans very quickly and get something in front of them very quickly, things like the deals of the day and the lightning deals aren't going to be very useful to you, because there's no point in building a page on your website about this lightning deal because it's over with in 3.5 hours. So unless you can get people to that page within that time frame, it's not really that useful. But some of these products could end up being an idea for an entire website. You might find a product here that is one of those new types of products to the marketplace, and this can help lead to other things. Because a lot of times these deal products will either be older products that they're just trying to increase sales on, or it's a newer product that they're trying to basically help gain exposure for it. Now, also, in this particular area, you can drill down by category. You can take a look at different types of deals that are available, the deals of the day, the lightning deals. You can also refine results in ways similar to what I was showing you on the category pages by looking at only products that have really great reviews. But in addition to all these options that you can use to narrow down these products and help discover new products and new niches, there's also this coupons area. Now, these coupons are typically longer lasting than just a 1 day or even a multi-hour deal like you would find on the previous page. Sometimes these coupons will run for many months. Some of them even seem to be on there almost indefinitely. So you wouldn't necessarily want to center a site around one of these coupons, but if the product that the coupon is for is something that you could see building an entire site around, then it's something that you could consider. and you can have the coupon offered on your site at least for a limited period of time until it's not available anymore. But again, the products that are in this area, they're usually going to be one of two things: older products that have been around forever, and then sometimes you'll find a couple of new products that are just looking to gain some additional exposure. Those are really the ones that you are looking for, unless you have a really good reason to, build a site around diapers, for example. In a lot of cases, though, building a site about just diapers in general, you're going to experience an immense amount of competition and find it almost impossible to get search engine traffic that way. So you're looking for the less commonly known products by doing these different types of searches. Now, when you are browsing a particular product or a particular category on the Amazon website, you will find these additional menus up in the top. And these additional menus can lead you to some other unique ways of exploring these products and discovering good or new products that you might want to promote. One of these is the best sellers listing. Every category on Amazon has a bestseller listing. And in a lot of these categories, you'll have even more subcategories, and those subcategories will have their own bestseller listing too. So you can see I'm drilling down multiple times here, and there were what, three, four different subcategories in the line that I took beyond the tools and the home improvement category. The point of mentioning this is when I'm in the tools and home improvement category that covers a lot of categories, and then these categories have even more subcategories to them, chances are to show up as one of the best sellers in this category, the product is going to be incredibly popular. It's almost definitely going to have a ton of search engine competition for it already. But the deeper I drill down into these categories and subcategories, the more likely it is that these products are going to be less popular. Even though this is the number one selling product in this subcategory, it wasn't even showing up at the top of the tools and home improvement list. So you can find more types of products this way. You can also find products that are still popular, but they're not as popular as some of the really big name ones. To be in that main tools and home improvement listing, you would have to have an incredible amount of sales taking place all the time to maintain a spot in that bestseller list. But in this subcategory, all you have to do is beat out the other products that are similar to yours. You're not competing a bit against completely different types of products in this list anymore. So in addition to the bestsellers, which in most cases will take you all the way to the top 100 best-selling products in a given category, you have these additional listings over here on the side, newly released products, things that are top gift ideas or things that people want as a gift. And again, they have top 100 listings in these as well. So I could not only look at the best selling portable air compressors, but maybe I want to try to find one of the newly released portable air compressors that is also still popular. The new releases category shows me exactly that. So this one is fairly newly released, but it's already got reviews on it. It's got 14 reviews, but at least it's not hundreds or thousands of reviews. So I could go and look at this product closer. I could try to figure out whether there's something special about this product to where maybe this type of product didn't exist a couple months or a year ago. I can also look at details for this product to try to figure out when exactly it was a new arrival. So you can see in the additional information here, it tells me the date that it was first available on the Amazon website for sale. And that was September the 8th of 2017. So this was released about 6 weeks ago on the Amazon website. This tells me that it's only been 6 weeks when people have been able to easily find this product. And that not only goes for the customers, but that goes for the affiliates as well. So if there's anything special about this product that would make it a new type of product to the marketplace, this would be something that would be excellent to try to pursue. However, I don't know if that's actually going to be the case for this. Um, it's an electric auto tire inflator, something that's obviously portable, can be used for a variety of different purposes. So unless I could figure out that this was one of the first types of this product that was being released, or if it's a newly created type of product, then it might not actually be a good choice because there could be a ton of competition for it. But still, I can go ahead and make a note. Just make a note of what this is, and I can later explore how much competition, how long that competition has been going on for, and to try to figure out if that could be a good potential choice or not. Now, one of the final areas of the Amazon site that I want to point out to you is something called Launchpad. Sometimes you can find a link for Launchpad up at the top in this menu, like I just showed you to navigate to this particular area myself. If you can't find one of those links, though, I have also provided the link to just get directly to the homepage of Amazon Launchpad. Basically, Amazon Launchpad is a special section just for startup companies. In some cases, these are completely unassociated third-party companies. Other times, though, Amazon, at least with some of these companies, has some type of financial interest in them. It seems to be the reason why they started this, but then they also allow any new startup company to participate and to have their products listed here. You can see over here, are you a startup? Learn more. So you can figure out how to get into the Launchpad program if you're a new startup company. The reason this area can be useful is for the same types of things that I've been discussing throughout this class so far. A startup company might be making a product that has been around for a long time and they're just making another one, or they're trying to improve upon it in some way. But then in a lot of other cases, these startup companies will be creating a completely new type of product. And again, that's useful to you because the new types of products are much more likely to have lower competition. So with Launchpad, it works basically the same way that the main Amazon website does. You have different categories that you can explore. You even have deals of the day and lightning deals. And the actual listings are just normal Amazon listings. So if I just click on one of these and go and view it, you can see it looks basically just like any other Amazon listing does. All the same information is available. You still have your product information, you still have Q&A, you still have the customer reviews on them. But again, the point of using this for your research is to try to find those newer kinds of products that would be a much better choice for a niche selection. So with that said, any of these options that I've showed you, they're all being used for the same purpose. You're trying to find popular products that do not have too much competition associated with them. And this will make it a lot more likely that you can get exposure for those products and actually get some sales referred on them. When it comes to choosing these products to promote, no matter which section of the site you're finding them in, you do them all the same way. You're looking for products that have a decent price associated with them so you can earn a halfway decent commission when you do refer a sale. You're looking for products that have good reviews on them, but preferably not too many reviews that would indicate that there's a lot of competition around them. And then you're also looking for simply a new type of product, something that likely wasn't available 6 months or a year ago. And that will also reduce the competition on these products. So looking through Amazon Launchpad here myself, if I want to look through the newly released products to try to pick something out that is fitting of all the different things that I've been talking about so far. Something that's popular, has a decent price point, but also would likely not have a ton of competition around it. I went to the new release section of Amazon Launchpad, and I'm just browsing through the listings that are here. Something like this, some kind of robot building kit, could potentially be a fairly new type of product. The price point is also pretty decent for that product. There's not a ton of reviews, so I know that it's active, it's getting sales, but it's not overwhelmed with sales to the point where hopefully not too many other affiliates have already taken notice of it. So these are the kinds of things that I am looking for when I am just simply browsing through this site. That was kind of one of the main ones, at least in the new release stuff, that was jumping out at me. There are many other ways, though, that you can try to look through these listings of products. If I take a look at a particular category of these products, for example, I could go and sort these products based on the average reviews. So this is going to show me the 5-star or as close to 5-star as it gets products first. And then as I scroll down lower, they're going to have lower review ratings associated with them. Doing it this way is something that I like because you can easily pick out the ones with a lot more competition and a lot less. When it has hundreds or thousands of reviews, there's probably a lot of competition. When there are a lot less reviews, but they're all pretty positive, these would be a lot more likely to have that lower competition on them. So if I can try to find something like that, which also has a decent price point to go along with it, then it could potentially be a good product or a good niche to kind of try to pursue. I thought I would go ahead and try to find one or two more decent products or types of products that I could add to my list. And again, I'll be taking the list and uh, continuing to work with this over the course of the future lessons to try to figure out which ones would be good ideas, which ones would not be good ideas. This one here is interesting looking. You can usually, by just browsing through the listings like this, you can usually pick out things. They might not be guaranteed to be a brand new type of product, but you can at least identify whether it's possible based on whether or not you've ever heard of the kind of product before. I don't believe I have ever heard of a wearable physical sound system, so that sounds interesting, and it also seems to have a decent amount of popularity here, so that's something that I could add to my list. So this gives you the basic idea of what I'm trying to do for my research. I have 5 currently. That's a decent number to begin with. In a lot of cases, though, you may end up needing to find 10, 15, maybe even 20 of these potential niche choices before, as you go through the rest of the research, until, one of them really begins to stand out as a great possibility to use to base your entire site on. So once you go through this same process on your own and you get a list together like this, this is kind of the point where a lot of people begin to run into problems. Even though I'm looking for an individual product, I'm not looking to build an entire website just about that one product itself. What I'm really looking to do is build something along the lines of a 20-page website. And I want that 20-page website to be centered around one particular topic. But I might end up promoting multiple products that will actually go on that same website. So the whole website is not about an individual product, it's about a niche or a specific topic that relates to all the different products that I want to be promoting on that site. So just as an example, using my potential niche choices that I have picked out during this training, I can look at any given topic here and I can ask myself, would it be easy or difficult to build an entire 20-page website that is centered around this topic, having a different subtopic, if you will, for each of the different 20 pages on this site. Some of those pages could be based on a specific product. Others might be based on any kind of topic that relates to those products. Um, Rotating floodlights, for example. There would obviously be some pages that are promoting specific rotating floodlights, but then I might have a number of informational types of pages um, having to do with landscape lighting, maybe talking about why rotating floodlights are useful or helpful or what situations they would be used in. Maybe I have another page about installing these floodlights. Maybe there's some wiring involved. Maybe there's some kind of central control system that you're going to need to hook them up to. So just based off of that information, um, if I were to have 5 different floodlights and a number of different informational types of articles that I could put there, it seems like it might be stretching it a little bit to try and build an entire 20-page site about that topic. So ultimately, I'm looking to make sure that a possible niche choice, that it's not only low competition, that it has some possibilities as far as earning decent commissions, being able to attract search engine traffic, but I also want to make sure that there's enough information there to build that entire site around. Now, in addition to using the Amazon website itself, there is one other place that I like to use for research for an Amazon affiliate website. And surprisingly, this is actually eBay. eBay has this page called eBay Explore. And on eBay Explore, you can find best-selling products and trending products that are available on the eBay website. Now, a few things that are noteworthy having to do with the eBay stuff. Since this is obviously a completely different website, you can't take any of the information that you find here too literal. Just because it is trending or selling on eBay is not a guarantee that it will be the same on Amazon or that it would be the same for the internet as a whole or the same for a search engine even. But there's usually some type of connection between stuff that is here and also stuff that will be on Amazon or things that are being searched for in a search engine. This is also really useful because of what I've been telling you as far as finding something that's new, finding something that offers much less search competition. A trending product is something where the new recent traffic for the product is a lot more than it typically was. This would be the case in a lot of different scenarios, honestly. But if you can figure out why a product is trending, you can identify the ones that would be a better choice for you. You don't really want a passing fad to be something that you center an entire website around. You want to be able to build these sites and let them sit there for a year, 2 years, even more than that, and have them still be successful years down the road. So if you catch on to a passing fad, something that is not very likely to still be around or to still be popular a couple years from now, you might do decent on a site like that short term, but then you might reach a point where your traffic completely disappears for it too. Sometimes these passing fads can be media related, where either on a news article online, maybe on a really popular TV show or something like that, they talk about a specific product. That can cause a lot more people to then go to the internet and start looking for that product or information about that product. Just as an example, I'll take the very first listing here. This is for a new video game, and sometimes it will actually tell you why a product is trending. It gives you a brief description about the product. It tells you when it started trending. It even shows you how many searches it had. And this shows you for the past 6 weeks. So you can see for weeks and weeks, this traffic was pretty flatlined. And then all of a sudden, it starts shooting way up. Chances are, though, this is probably the case with this particular game because it's probably a new game. It was probably getting talked about in the news here, or maybe this is the release date for it. And so a lot of people flooded to this listing, started searching for this product on eBay. This is an instance of a passing fad, basically. There's no way that this product will end up maintaining this level of traffic at any point in the future. This might be the highest amount that it will ever see. And then it might go back down, maybe not as low as it was before, but it'll go significantly lower than its peak point. Years from now, a site centered around this one particular topic would most likely not be in demand anymore, even if it is really in demand right now. So you're looking for some sort of sense of longevity here. Some of these things might be trending simply because of the time of the year. Skull baking pan, the cat costume, guarantee these things are here because Halloween is quickly approaching. And so every Halloween, they likely have an uptick in traffic. This doesn't mean that it's going to stay that high because once that holiday passes, the traffic's going to go back down to its normal level. This one here is a decent example, Precious Moments. This one was mentioned on the Today Show, talking about some of these Precious Moment figurines. Some of the original ones back from 1979 might actually be worth thousands of dollars. And so they talk about this on a national TV show, and a lot of people gain an interest in it. Maybe they have some of these figurines laying around from their childhood, and so they want to pull them out and they want to go and search the eBay website to see if they have any valuable ones. So this caused a big uptick in traffic. But this doesn't mean that people are buying a lot more of these. It doesn't mean that there is any increased interest in this particular product, at least nothing that would hang on long term. So, again, that's another example of something that will likely just be a passing fad. The dates here are also helpful. When you see a date and the trend graph, that trend is really only relating to this date. So they give you 6 weeks worth of data for any of these trending searches. And so this graph covers 6 weeks, but it's not the current past 6 weeks. It's the day that it started trending up here and the 6 weeks prior to that date. So you don't really get to see the new traffic that has resulted, whether this is still higher or whether it's a lot lower. You basically have to figure all of that stuff out for yourself. But again, the point of using this is to try to catch on to something that you think might be a new type of product on the marketplace and something that you feel like has the potential to still be around and to still be popular years into the future. Um, One of the few that I've seen so far might be, no, even this, I wasn't familiar with this particular type of product, but this one is likely a holiday trend as well. So even though it's something I hadn't heard of before, even though it's got a lot of recent trending traffic to go with it, most likely it's just seasonal. It's like a Halloween costume in a way, where it's going to be popular for a little while up until that holiday passes, and then its popularity will most likely return to normal. So I am instead looking for something, again, with longevity to it, something that's likely to still be around years from now. This one could potentially be a niche possibility. Um, they call this Instant Pot. It looks like it is Bluetooth, so you might even control it with your phone potentially. And it's all these different types of cookers all in one, it appears. So that could maybe be worth checking into. Try to figure out why, back on September 21st, why did the popularity of this product spike? It looks like it was already popular before, but why has it become more popular? So I can look into whether or not there would be um, some kind of new trending opportunity that I could latch onto, whether or not there's already a lot of competition for that particular product. Um, with it being on eBay, you also want to make sure that those products will actually be available for sale on Amazon, or else you won't be able to promote them and earn commissions on them. Now, in this same area of eBay, if you click on the bestseller link, you can get to products and see actual buying numbers for different products. Keep in mind, though, that this isn't necessarily uh, the product selling this many number of times throughout all of eBay. This may just be coming from one specific eBay listing where maybe they have a buy it now and they have a lot of them available. And so, you know, this many people potentially bought it from just this one listing alone. So there could be multiple listings that are all basically the same thing that could show up in these lists. This, though, instead of just being a trend, instead of just being the fact that a lot of people searched for them in a recent period of time, this tells you actual sales data. So this is whether something is successfully selling on the eBay website or not. Chances are, if it's successful here, as long as it's not something unique or collectible that isn't likely to be available on Amazon, then it will probably be successful on Amazon too. You can also search by different categories. Any of the Amazon categories that are, or eBay categories that are available, you can find those listed here. And you can look at sold items or top viewed items. You can look either yesterday or in the last 7 days. And this homepage here, it's got a number of the different categories, and they just kind of show you a scrolling listing, so you can kind of flip through these. Again, the same point, you're looking for new ideas of products or niches that you could potentially target. You're looking for things that are popular, but you're also ultimately looking for something that's not going to have a lot of competition centered around it. There are going to be some categories on eBay that are most likely not going to be useful for you. One of them is the collectibles category here. Chances are you're not going to find the collectible products that are being sold on eBay available on Amazon unless it's something that has been mass produced and it's a somewhat recent product. So you could probably, just as an example, you could probably find those Precious Moments figurines for sale on Amazon, but you're probably not going to find the old collectible, more expensive ones that are available in much smaller numbers on Amazon. So keep those things in mind when you're browsing through these listings. Don't get too attached to a type of product that may not be available on the Amazon website at all. So by flipping through some of these, obviously in the electronics category, the screen protectors for various types of phones seems to be really popular, but they're also really cheap products. There might not be any point in trying to pursue those on the Amazon website. Plus, your competition would likely end up being really high. There are also uh, other potential ideas here, such as printer ink, but printer ink is not exactly a new type of product. There's probably going to be a lot of competition centered around that as well. But if I look into a category from my drop down box here, I can view a lot more different products than what is shown to me on that previous page through the little scroll bars. Doing it this way, I might be able to identify popular products, but not, the super popular high selling numbers of products that are up in the top. Usually these will end up having a lot of competition. But as I get further and further down my list, I can still verify them to be popular, but I may run into more occasions here where I find lower competition types of products. just looking through this list, I doubt Bluetooth earbuds are a new type of product. There look to be a couple of vapors on these pages, a number of cords. There's also some spying equipment. So none of these are really jumping out at me as being a great idea for centering an entire website around. But again, this is just one of the many categories that are available here. You can even, if you're looking for more information about a specific type of product, you can sometimes even find information by searching for them, but they usually have to show up in one of these listings. I can't just randomly specify a product up here and expect to get data for it. But if it shows up in one of the best-selling listings, then searching for it will help to narrow that down and help me to find it a lot faster. So in your own work, you want to do what I have been demonstrating to you today, going through the Amazon website, possibly even exploring the eBay website, and trying to identify a handful of different niches or types of products that you could potentially pursue. And then as this series progresses, we're going to do more work on our list here and figure out which one or whether any of them would be a good niche possibility to try to pursue. The first step of that, which we will be covering in the next class in this series, is going to involve search engine research, where we figure out different keyword phrases, different brand or product names associated with each of these niche choices, and we explore whether there is search traffic available for those keywords. And then we can explore whether or not there is a lot of search competition for those different keyword phrases. Because again, you have within each of these niche choices, you have potentially 20 different topics that you're going to want to cover. And each of those different topics is going to have a different keyword phrase that could be associated with it. And that keyword phrase may or may not have a lot of traffic. It may or may not have a lot of competition. So you need at least some keywords on any given website that offer a decent amount of traffic potential along with the low amount of competition. It doesn't mean that you can't promote a product that has a ton of competition, but you shouldn't really expect to get search traffic for that product. Instead, you need ways to bring traffic into your website to be able to refer sales. And so that's what the focus of the next class will be, so we can narrow down this list a little bit more. And then if we can identify one or maybe even multiple of these niches that are good candidates, then we can pursue on with the work for additional lessons after that, where we will begin planning out the entire website and then finally actually building the website. Shane has asked me, does he need to have HTTPS or SSL? This is where you have a secure website that people can visit. I do run sites that are using SSL, and I run other sites that do not use SSL. So it's not going to be a make or break type of a situation. It can help to improve your search rankings, though. But again, that doesn't mean that a site without it can't rank because I have a lot of different sites with a lot of really great search rankings that do not use SSL at all. So it's not an absolute must, but it can be beneficial to you, Shane. And I'm also being asked how to find the real level of competition amongst Amazon affiliates for your products. Ultimately, there is nothing that's going to tell you exactly how many different affiliates are promoting a particular type of product. But there are some things that you can do on a search engine to try to estimate those competition levels. And that's something that I will be covering in detail in the next lesson. There's a variety of different tactics that I use to try to determine that. What I pointed out on the Amazon website today, though, is the number of reviews for it. Again, it's not a guaranteed gauge, but if something has thousands of reviews on the Amazon website, chances are there's going to be a lot of Amazon affiliate competition for that product. If something has much less in the way of reviews, especially if it's below 100 reviews, then it has not gained as much exposure on Amazon. It might have a lot of competition, but at least the possibility of it having lower competition is more likely when you have a pretty low number of reviews. So use the review ratings as an initial gauge, and then if you think there's a possibility of it having low competition, add that product type to your list, and then we will explore that more through search engine research in the next step to, again, not guarantee whether or not um, the competition will be low, but at least to get a much better indication of how much competition there could be for it. Kathy is asking, where do we get the PDF for the lessons? The PDF file for today's lesson is connected with this webinar here. It's the handout that's available for you. After today's class, I will be setting up the video recording from today's class along with a link to download that PDF file on a web page, and that same web page will be updated after each class in this series, so you can always return to that page to access the videos, to be able to download the ebooks, and even other class materials that I provide throughout this series. That page does not currently exist yet because this is the first class of the series. So that's something that I'll be putting together over the next day, and a GoToWebinar email will be sent out roughly 24 hours from now, and it'll provide you with the link for that page. And that's a link that I will continue to provide for people throughout this entire series, because again, it'll just be this one page that you utilize to review all of the recordings, to download any of the PDF guides. But during each of the live classes, you can always find the relevant PDF guide as the handout for that class. Let's see, somebody else is asking, what can you do with old affiliate sites. You have a really old affiliate site, um, especially if parts of it are obsolete, like in this example, the WordPress theme is obsolete. It can kind of depend on a site to site basis what might be the best thing to do with it. If the website is not a high quality website, if it's something that was generated using automated software, if it doesn't have its own unique content, if it doesn't have search engine rankings that are bringing in traffic for it, then there may not be a point in trying to save it or do anything with it. However, um, if there is some kind of unique content on the website, if the site especially has any kind of search rankings to where it gets some kind of search engine traffic for free on a regular basis, it's almost always going to be worth saving in those cases. What I would recommend to do for something like that, and I guess this is also kind of something that I will be exploring more throughout the course of this series. In at least one lesson of this series, I'm going to pull up an older website of mine, and I'm going to uh, do some updates to it. It's basically a site that's just sat there for a few years, and I really haven't messed with it much at all. It's a successful website. It's got great search rankings. It refers regular Amazon sales. But over time, you can have affiliate sites that just kind of turn obsolete. If you're recommending a product, for example, 5 years from now, there might be a ton of new products that have been released in that 5 year time period. And the older products that you're promoting might not even be for sale anymore, or they might be just completely obsolete in terms of the newer stuff. So it can be useful to go back through a site like that and identify what is obsolete and what is still relevant, pick out some new products to promote, for example, um, and just switch them out. That's also why I like to build sites in a particular manner. I usually try not to create an entire page on my website about one specific product. If I want to target, um, say, floodlights, instead of making a page about one specific floodlight that years from now might be obsolete, I'll look at the brand name of that floodlight and I'll make a page about that brand name and their floodlight products. And then I might be able to promote a couple of their lights on that particular page. But years down the road, when the original floodlights that I picked out might not be relevant anymore, I can just simply remove them, replace them with some new ads, a little bit of new information for the new products that I choose, and modernize the website in a fairly short time period. For something like in your case, where if the theme itself is obsolete, but if the actual website is good, if it's got unique content on it, if it's especially if it has search engine traffic on it, then the best thing to try to do with something like that would just be to update the parts of it that make it obsolete. You can change a WordPress theme on a site without actually messing up the site itself. The theme basically only controls the way the website looks. A theme that I will be demonstrating and using during this particular series is one called Weaver Extreme. It's a free WordPress theme and it offers a lot of different design possibilities all within that one theme. So you could just simply go in and download that new theme, activate it on your site, adjust some of the settings to get it to look the way that you want, and potentially just leave the site alone. But if you think the product recommendations on it are going to be out of date, that at the very least may be the other part of it that you would need to do some updates with, because obviously you need to be able to promote some modern products that wouldn't be obsolete anymore if that would happen to apply to your site. But it sounds like it possibly could.